everybody, welcome back to an episode of the 3 Count. I'm War Machine MJ of the 3 Count Mafia. I'm here today to talk about the network stuff, more specifically the go-home shows to NXT Takeover Toronto. Kicked the show off with NXT UK, which, you know how we go. Worst show to best show and match of the week. Kicked off with NXT UK, and they're out of the Download Festival this week. Hooray! The show wasn't as good compared to the other shows. Started the show off with Noam Dar taking on Ashton Smith. Noam Dar, of course, won with the Nova Rolla. Then he proceeded to tell the people why he's at NXT UK. He's at NXT UK because they offered him such a sweet deal, including guaranteed to show up at guaranteed to be on every takeover card, while he's there. We would soon find out later on that that was not the case, as Travis Banks was leaving the office of Squid Scala and Johnny Saint, where basically the theme of this episode was earn it. You want this? Earn it. You want that? Earn it. You want to earn this? Earn that. So yeah. So we're going to see something between Supernova 11 and the Kiwi Buzzsaw somewhere down the road. Since we got only a couple weeks till... Actually, by Sunday it will be 20 days till Takeover Cardiff. Anyway, next up we had the grizzled young vets talking about, they earned their spot. They earned their titles. And Gallus are just kind of talking to everyone who'll listen about how they deserve a championship shot. That then prompted Mark Coffey and Wolfgang to come out and say, "Oh no, we're not asking, we're demanding for it." And then, out of the blue, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster have popped up, saying, "Hey, they want a shot at the belt." Which, why? This is the first time we've seen Flash Morgan Webster on TV in a while. And Mark Andrews really hadn't done a whole lot in recent memory. Yeah, basically, Grizzled Young Vets ended off with, if you want a shot at our titles, you got to earn it. Johnny Saint makes the matches around here. So then we'd find out later on that sorry, caught a mustache here. Anyway, we'd find out later on that Mark Coffey and Flash Morgan Webster are going to face off next week, assuming it's going to be a triple threat for the tag team titles at Cardiff. The grizzled young vets defending against Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster, and defending against Gallus. So, speaking of mustaches, we also got some word from Tyler Bate, who said he's going to go into Cardiff one-on-one with Walter for the NXT UK Championship. Trent Seven's not cleared, and he vows to become the first two-time NXT UK, or I'm sorry, WWE UK champion. Wait, next we had tag team action between the team of Jenny and Jazzy Gabor taking on Piper Niven and Xia Brookside. Yeah, this was a wild brawl. This was a decent match, I should say. And then towards the finish, Rhea Ripley came out there, just watching the, trying to get a front row seat to the match, minding her own business. Then Piper Niven jumps off the apron and just starts going to town on Rhea Ripley. They brawl to the back, leaving poor little Brookside all by her lonesome. And well, she got beat down by Jenny and Jazzy. And then finally, in the main event, we had Joe Coffey of Gallus taking on the Bomber, Massive Dave Mastiff. Now, this was a really good brawl. They proceeded to beat the hell out of each other. In the early stages of this match, Dave Mastiff ran back first into an exposed turnbuckle on the second rope. You know, basically caused some lower back damage. Well, no, it was it was this whole midsection. He couldn't, quite sum up all the strength he needed. And then later on in the match, Joe Coffey got punched in the ear, and his equilibrium was shot through the rest of the match. And these two just proceeded to beat the hell out of each other until they both were counted out. So double count out, and it ended with Gallus and the referees trying to keep Coffey and Massive apart. Of course, it didn't help. My question is, why was Sid Scala there? He's trying to hold back Dave Mastiff. Why? I mean, Sid Scala looks like something Dave Mastiff eats for breakfast. Anyway, but yeah. So we finished off NXT UK. Next, 205 Live. We kicked off the show with Humberto Carrillo taking on Lince Dorado of the Lucha House Party. And yet another instance of Lucha action, because these two guys were just go, go, go all throughout the match. Towards the finish, however, when okay, that's good. Anyway, towards the finish, when Dorado and Carrillo were on the outside trying to get in, Carrillo was on the apron, and Dorado just sweeped his legs before he could step in, which caused a double countout. So yeah, basically Dorado not being sporting. Afterwards, however, there was a backstage segment between Dorado and Arya Daivari, where Arya Daivari is basically playing some mind games with the Golden Links, basically trying to tell him, drop the dead weight of the Lucha House Party, and maybe you'll have championship opportunities instead of guys like Kalisto. Which, speaking of title opportunities and Kalisto, Drake Maverick, his first official act since the unsanctioned match, he decided to make a six-pack challenge to determine Drew Gulak's opponent for SummerSlam. It'd be between Kalisto, Tony Nese, Jack Gallagher, Tozawa, Daivari, and Oni Lorcan. And they beat the dog out of each other. This was a six-man war in its own self. But in the end, however, the brawler from Boston, Oni Lorcan, punched his ticket to Toronto, where he will meet the Cruiserweight Champion and proceed to knock his block off. Yeah, that was 205 Live. And finally, we end off with NXT, where they played a lot of video package hyping up Takeover, given that it is this weekend. So started the show off with contract signing between the Street Profits and the Undisputed Era. Both these teams are just fantastic to listen to. They're great. But yeah, his contract signing. Nobody went through any tables, so it's a good contract signing. Uh, Next up, we had Shane Thorne taking on Joaquin Wilde, the former DJZ, and this was a really decent match, borderline good, um, if I might say so myself. Towards the stretch of this match, Joaquin kept hitting some outside dives, taking out Shane Thorne, and yeah, Joaquin went to the well one too many times. Shane Thorne caught him and proceeded to just throw him everywhere at ringside before throwing him back in the ring and yeah, just knocking him out with a knee strike and putting him away. So yeah, we're going to see a lot more aggressive Shane Thorne, which that's going to be awesome. Uh, Actually, NXT wasn't that good this week, if you think about it. So yeah, 205 Live gets my show of the week. Anyway, we were supposed to get Matt Riddle versus Killian Dane. However, in the middle of I said Mill. In the middle of Riddle's entrance, Killian Dane assaulted him, beat him down, and basically there was going to be no match. So, yep, and that's how we ended the week show, the network shows. Yeah, despite how the order I put them in, 205 Live was the best show of the week. And match of the week is going to go to that six-pack challenge. That was a fantastic match. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel and this video. Remember, if you don't like his ugly-ass face, but you love his opinions, Rodimus Prime has a podcast. It's called Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime, only on the CastBox app. Listen to it. That being said, coming down the pipeline this weekend, we have paper preview of NXT Takeover Toronto and SummerSlam, also from Toronto. Anyway, that being said, I'm War Machine MJ of the 3 Count Mafia. Thanks for listening to 3 Count, and we will see you guys next time.